Hey, yo, boys. I just want to give you my build of the league. Essentially, it is a Juggernaut with strength stacking and replica Alberons, but you may have noticed that my fire res is 90 and my other two res are negative, and that's because of the conversion. So previously I always had to run the Sublime Vision, so this tech is not from me, that's from another streamer, but I combine it with the strength stacking because there's one specific jewel which gives you increased strength if you have 2 warlord items, and then 10% of elemental damage taken is chaos if you have 4 hunter items equipped. And these two mods together just fit so perfectly. Last time I checked, this jewel was 1 divine in softcore, so it's very cheap right now, and the way you basically convert everything is 10% here. Then you have a Dawnbreaker, which has to be perfect on the first two stats, Cold and Lightning, preferably also the Fist taking. And then you have Tempered by War, which converts 50 from Lightning and Cold. And you have a Watcher's Eye, which converts the rest of the 20. So you have 10, 20, 50, and then 20 again. So it's 100% conversion. And yeah, I found a mageblood myself from the Nameless Seer in hardcore. What the fuck? Nah. Nah, clip that shit. Nah, no way. No fucking way. No fucking way I got it. No fucking way. Nah, clip that. Currently we're sitting on level 98 and the character name is called Aloha Twitch TV Unkillable because this character is basically unkillable. You can run tier 17s very smooth. You need a lot of influenced items, so I went with the new amulet, which gives all of the influences at the same time. And I crafted it myself by recombining the suffixes and then using meta mods, wild bristle matrons to craft the prefixes. Then helmet I also chanced it myself, so basically I got a double influence tuberous circlet, and I used the new crafting bench, reroll rarity. But before I did that, I would imprint a magic version, and whenever it wouldn't hit another helmet, I would just imprint it back and keep going until I hit the Crown of Ice. It is quite expensive, so this build is not for a beginner budget. You have to have some money to start it off with. I would say if you want to be softcore and comfortable, I would say at least 100 divines. Mageblood is not necessary. I just found it and I used it. I used the increased strength belt before, which works perfectly fine. Yeah, you need replica Alberons, and I just have some rings. They're not really good. I would need a helical ring. I was like both crafted live. But yeah, basically you just want hunter items and you want to cap your chaos res. In my case, I haven't kept it yet, but I will cap it very soon. And for gloves, I just went with rare gloves. Besides that, I used a lot of rare jewels before mageblood to get the max fire res. So I used something like this, and you just reroll life until you get life and max fire res, or any max res and convert to max fire res. And I used the Forbidden Flash and Flame from the Chieftain Ascendancy to get +3 strength everywhere. And here's a Lethal Pride with increased strength and yeah, some region, strength, a little bit more strength. So basically pure strength stacking, and that's about it. I think the most painful part about this build was crafting this cluster jewel. This cluster jewel is extremely annoying to craft and very expensive too. However, you can still play the game without the cluster, but with the cluster, it almost gives you like 50% or more damage. So it's very important that you get this one of these at least into your build. So if we look at our POB stats, we are sitting at around 270k effective hit pool, 50k max hit, which is a lot. 50k max hit is a lot for Fizz. And then 145k max Ela hit is very comparable to a Trickster with like 15 to 20k ES, I would say. And yeah, it's mostly because of Juggernaut. We are crit immune because of Ephemeral Guard, action slow immune, and stun immune. And if you have a mageblood, you will also be ailment immune. And yeah, besides that, configurations are just power charges due to Assassin's Mark, endurance charges since we are Juggernaut. The damage is probably, like I would say 40 to 50 million-ish. Other than that, yeah, this is without guard skill, obviously. Molten Shell not enabled. If you would have Molten Shell enabled, it would literally go to... It's very strong, so you can use the additional suffixes. You don't have to invest into resistances. You can use these additional suffixes or suppress. You can invest them into strength, into all attributes, and this makes this build very strong because you have no suffix pressure at all, and you can just invest everything into attributes. If you're playing softcore, I think you can get a lot better gear in most cases. If you like the build, if you have questions about the build, you can find me streaming on twitch.tv, Aloha TFT. I also have a very funny video about the one-shotting Ubers, so if you have time, check that out too.